Hi everyone, this is Gary Toniquette from morethanasnapshot.com. In today's lesson, I'm going to continue working on the tulip image that I was using the Perfect Eraser tool on. And you could see in the previous video it left a little bit of a mess in certain places, but it did alright in other places. And I saw a tip by Aaron Nace on how to use the brush tool whenever you didn't really have good pixels to cover something up with. So he created a special brush that kind of looked like bokeh. And then he just used the color of a brush to cover over parts of a picture that you really didn't have any pixels to clone with. So I'm going to try that technique on this part and see if that cleans up things. I'm using the brush at 100% opacity and a 10% flow. And you can see here, for example, that there's sort of like hard edges around this part where it cloned in. And so I'm going to see if I can clean up some of these areas. So let's take a look. First of all, if you hit the Alt button, you'll get the little eyedropper. That lets you select a color just by tapping on a color. So now I have a color. I have the ability to just paint over a section that I'm working on here. And since I'm using a very low flow, it's going to take a little bit of painting to cover up that area. So I'm going to gently cover up that spot. I'm going to leave some differences between light and dark and all that kind of thing. See, it sort of nicely blends things in because I'm using a low flow. Alright, I think that works pretty well in that section. I'll just keep going to, clean up this whole area. We don't want to see harsh lines, but we do want to see some differences in tone. Alright, we'll come back to those other sections in a minute. Alright, so that's I think working pretty well. Now we'll see if we can fix on the barn, or maybe the door, because that's white. Hopefully that'll be easy. For the door, maybe I should have used the clone stamp tool though, because it would have given me more defined lines. We'll see how it comes out. Yeah, I'm not liking that very much, so I'm going to undo that. Okay, and I'm going to also try this on a new layer so that if I mess it up again next time. This time let's try it with the clone tool. So select those pixels and I'll just come down. It's adding the lines, so it's keeping the pattern of the door. So I think that's working much better. Alright, so we extended the door a little bit. Now let's extend the building. Down just a bit. I have the flow down on this as well. Alright. Let me switch to the brush. There's a couple of spots I want to clean up there. I don't like those lines that it was putting in. Alright. Now I'll go back to the clone tool. Just do a little bit over here. Soften that edge a bit. Clone tool. Alright, so now let's see if we can fix this path a little bit. I'm going to use the regular brush for that. I'm going to pick the color from over here, and it's not as light of a color as I was thinking it was going to be. Oh, here we go. That's a lighter color. Alright, so we just painted in some path. Alright, so let's move down. Just keep that going. Let that blend in. Alright. Again, for the barn, I think I'm going to use the clone tool. And make it a little bigger. I can't get the size. Oh, that's the crop tool, duh. Here's the clone tool. Alright. For this, I'm going to bump up the flow a little bit. It's taking a lot to cover an area. I think I went down a little too far. So I'll have to sort of make a line. All right. Sort of. We want to leave a thin edge of grass there. Okay, yeah, I think that looks alright. We'll keep going down. Whoops. Let's edit undo. Okay, I'm going to put a new layer on in case I make other mistakes over here in this section. I'm going to go back to the brush tool because I mainly just need to smooth things out over here. So, select this gray color. Smooth out that edge. Occasionally selecting a color and then just painting a little bit over it with a 10% flow. Not doing much, I'm just sort of blending some of the harder lines. Okay, remember this would all be like bokeh, so it's not perfectly in focus, so I'm just sort of blending in other places that I've cloned. Whoa, I don't like those two. Okay. Alright, so let's see. I think I've repaired all the sections. Alright, let's take a look at it at full size. Not bad. What I might do is just add a little bit of a blur layer because it's not a completely bokeh. My painted in section might look a little more blurred than the background actually is. Might have worked a little better if the background had actually been, you know, more blurred. So we'll see if we can do that. So I'm going to make a stamp visible layer, Control Alt Shift E. That just puts everything together up there on one layer. So now I'm going to go to Filter, Blur. We'll go to Gaussian Blur. And we'll see how much we're going to blur it. Not that much. I don't know, we'll try 3-ish. And it doesn't look like it was enough. So I'm gonna do it again. go back to, alright, yeah, around 8 maybe. Oh, that's too much. Let's try 9. Okay, so now I have a blur there. I need a layer mask. And I'm going to have to use the gradient tool with black as the foreground color. Where's that gradient tool? Here it is. Okay, that didn't go up high enough. All right. Let's use the paintbrush. Paint it white because I think I went too far. So just want to make sure this part is blurred. Okay, and then maybe I'll clean up the black section down here, making sure that I get the flowers sharp. Okay, so here you can see on the layer mask, the top part is white. That's the blurred section. The bottom part is black. That is the flowers in focus. So now I'll put it to full screen. You can see what we have. Yeah, and I think adding that blur helps to blend it all in. Now, you know, nothing in the background is completely in focus. So the painting that I did sort of just looks like it belongs. So it sort of blends in. In my opinion, I think it worked well. So let me know what you think in the comments. Again, this has been Gary D. Tonicourt from morethanasnapshot.com.